Let me just introduce her before we request her to go up. Our next resource speaker is Dr. Marie Barrientos Regala, MD, FPCP, FPCC, is an adult cardiologist and internist whose work spans clinical practice, cardiovascular research, and academic contribution. A consistent scholar from her pre-medical years through medical school, she completed both her internal medicine residency and adult cardiology fellowship at Manila Doctors Hospital, where she later served as research coordinator. Her research excellence has earned multiple national awards, including top recognitions from the Philippine College of Physicians, the Philippine Society of Hypertension, and Manila Doctors Hospital. She has authored international peer-reviewed publications, contributed a book chapter on hypertension in Asia, and serves as a peer reviewer for the Springer Journal Cardiovascular Drugs and Therapy. Dr. Barrientos Regala is currently a cardiology consultant at Manila Doctors Hospital, Novaliches General Hospital, St. Peter Paul Medical Clinic, and My Health Clinic. Her work reflects a deep commitment to advancing cardiovascular care through evidence-based practice, research, leadership, and compassionate patient care. Brothers and sisters, let us all welcome our third speaker, Dr. Marie Barrientos Regala.
Hello, good afternoon. Totoo pala yung sabi ni Doc Grace, nakakapanibago na ganito yung sasabihin namin dito sa gitna. Anyway, so, kamusta po kayo? Buti naman. Pakikamusta nga yung katabi kasi baka magtampo. Yan, kamusta? Kamusta po kayo? Okay pa ba? Yan. So, dapat kinakamusta po natin isa't isa para hindi sumasama yung loob. Yan. Gets nyo po ba? Okay. So, we'll start. Teka. Yan. So, we'll begin with a quick icebreaker. May oras pa tayo for icebreaker. Yung mga meron po dito, nakikita nyo po yung listahan ng gamot? Nakikita nyo po ba? So, I would like to request all those na meron na kahit isa sa mga gamot na yan na tumayo. Pwede pong makita? Yeah, proud na proud. Binigyan ng ganyan in the past or merong ganyan hanggang ngayon? Wow! Wave kayo, ang dami. Okay, sige. Oh. Thank you. Very good. Tinitake nyo ba? Okay. Sige. So, since we will talk about hypertension and heart health, we begin with this infographic. So actually, this was a study done in 2022, and it's called Pression 4. Kasi it's a study on blood pressure. And tinignan po sa pag-aaral na to kung gaano laganap ang blood pressure sa Philippines at that time, and also kung ano yung mga risk factors, and kung aware ba yung mga sinurvey nila about their hypertension. So the key findings were this. First po, 37% of those whom they surveyed were hypertensive. So 37%, roughly more than 1/3, di ba? So madami. And then, of the 37% who are hypertensive, 52% lang daw po yung aware that they have hypertension. So biruin nyo, almost half, hindi nila alam na hypertensive sila. And during this survey, dun lang nila nalaman na, oops, hypertensive pala ako. And that's a big number. Kasi if you don't know, you don't treat. And then, among the risk factors po that they noted were 22% were smokers. Sorry, hindi ko kasi mabasa. 37% were overweight. Yan, kaway-kaway sa mga overweight. Yan. So you don't have to be obese. Overweight lang daw, risk factor na rin. Parang lahat no? Check lahat. And then 5% also had diabetes. So, yeah. So as you can see po, Philippines pa lang po ito na data, but it also reflects the global risk factors na nakikita po natin worldwide. And then sadly, 61% lang po yan, ng mga pasyenteng they surveyed had good control. Or sorry, baliktad. are still uncontrolled. Meaning, majority, hindi pa rin nila napapababa yung BP nila to the normal blood pressure. So, define po muna natin ano yung hypertension, especially for the younger age group. Feeling ko kasi wala pa kayong gamot sa hypertension. So, ano ba ang hypertension? It's defined as a sustained elevation. Mahalaga pong makita yun. Sustained, hindi nagkataon lang, hindi isang beses lang. Sustained elevation in blood pressure based on the average of 2 or more properly measured readings. Very important, i-highlight, isulat. Bakit po 2 or more? So, ibig sabihin, pag isang beses pa lang po kayo, pumunta kayo sa clinic, ang BP nyo 140/90, do we already treat you as a hypertensive patient? No. Kasi, isang beses pa lang. Pwede siyang affected by many factors. So, dapat po 2 or more and properly measured. So mamaya pupuntahan po natin how to properly measure your BP. So ito po very busy slide. Kaya pasisimplihan ko na lang po. Pinapakita lang po dito yung guidelines sa aming mga cardiologists. These are 2 very famous guidelines that we use. The one on your right, so hindi nyo na kailangang i-memorize, is from the American Heart Association. And the one on your left is from the European Society of Cardiology. Kami pong mga cardiologists kasi we also follow clinical practice guidelines whenever we treat patients. So pili na lang tayo ng isa. Yan. So hopefully nababasa nyo po. Ito po yung latest guidelines, 2025. So, siguro kung hindi pa po kayo updated, I will refresh you po. Kasi nung med student pa lang po ako, the cut-off for hypertension is 140 and above na systolic, di ba? Yun po ang alam natin. But based on the alam nyo naman, marami nagbabago sa medicine, mas maraming studies have come out. And based on this American Heart Association guideline, the normal now is less than 120/80. Di ba dati akala natin 120/80, ngayon below 120/80. Yan. So isipin nyo, ano nga ba yung BP ko? Below 120/80 na ba? And then, yung 120 to 129 systolic, over less than 80 is already, may term na nabago, elevated. Yan. So, hindi pa siya hypertensive, pero may tawag sa kanya, elevated blood pressure. So, pwede ko rin po ito i-share sa inyo kung hihingi kayo ng copy. Kasi maliit eh. And then, yung stage 1 hypertension, ito na yung high blood pressure. It's 130 to 139 over 80 to 90. Stage 2 is 140 systolic or higher. And then, if you say severe hypertension, ito po yung higher than 180 yung systolic. Very dangerous po ito. So, dapat ito nakikita na kagad ng doktor. And if you have hypertensive emergency, meaning more than 180 pa yung systolic, which is madalas din natin itong makita sa mga pasyente, emergency room na kaagad. Or call your friendly cardiologist for assistance. So, ngayong hapon po, actually, this will be a time to debunk myths. Kasi lagi tayong sinabi ng kapitbahay ko, ganito daw dapat. O kaya sabi ng lola ko, lolo ko. So meron po tayo mga statements and I will make this interactive. Okay ba? Para makagalaw-galaw po kayo. So tatanungin ko po kayo kung this is a fact or fiction. O, yun lang naman, ha? So first statement, sasabihin ng pasyente, okay naman po ang pakiramdam ko. Imposibleng mataas ang blood pressure ko. Is it a fact or fiction? Sino pong sabing fact? Totoo yan. Kapag okay ang pakiramdam, imposibleng mataas ang blood pressure. Okay, sino pong nagsasabing myth or fiction? Okay, so karamihan naman. Anong sagot? Siyempre, fiction. I-explain natin why. So do you know, brothers and sisters, nasanay na brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters pa din, that hypertension is a silent killer. Imagine niyo po yung picture na yan, no? It's a silent killer, pero it hides in plain sight. Diba? Killer siya, Pero nakikita natin siya. Why? Because it usually does not have symptoms. So mali po, lalapit na ako kasi I'm very passionate about this. Ito yung laging natatanong. Hindi kailangan masakit ang batok, hindi kailangan masakit ang ulo, hindi kailangan nahihilo and so many symptoms para ma-diagnose na hypertensive. Malinaw po? So kahit na walang symptoms, pwede pa rin tayong maging hypertensive because damage happens quietly over time. So habang tumatagal, hindi po tayo nakakainom ng gamot, hindi natin na-address yung lifestyle factors para tumaas ang BP, yung damage po sa puso, sa ating mga ugat and our organs will progress kahit hindi natin alam. And the only way to know is to measure it. Yun lang talaga ang tanging paraan. So next question, Sister Marie, paano ba kami magme-measure ng blood pressure properly? Isa pa tong mahalagang slide. Maliit din siya, pero I will share this with you. First, in the 30 minutes po before your blood pressure is taken, maghahanda na kayo. Hindi yung basta kukuha na lang ng BP. Dapat no smoking. Siguro naman, hindi na po tayo nagsusmoke. Gaya ng sabi ni Dr. Grace, no? Bad siya for the health. No exercise. So dapat kung nag-jog po tayo, nag-walk, 30 minutes before, tapos na tayo. No caffeinated beverages. Sino mahilig magkape? Ayan, halos lahat, diba? Ano po yung beverages na may caffeine? Hindi lang po kape. Pati tea, especially strong teas. Yan, may mga kilala ako sa audience na favorite ang tea. Yan. So, lahat po yun, no? Let's make sure before, at least 30 minutes before, wala tayong ganun. And no alcohol. Next. Lalo na kapag tayo po ay gumalaw, rest for at least 5 minutes. Yan. And don't talk. Mahirap yung gawin, lalo pag sister, di ba? Pag babae, gusto natin nagto-talk. Pero try to rest and don't talk. And then while you prepare to take your blood pressure, relax, don't talk. Tapos paano po ang pwesto? So gayahin po natin yung nasa image. Rest your arm comfortably flat, surface at heart level. So ano po yung heart? So ito. So dapat ganyan. Yung ka-level niya, hindi po mas mataas, hindi rin mas mababa. So dapat maganda sana kung may table. O ayan. Tapos heart level. Next, yung legs are uncrossed. So kung nakadi-4 po kayo, i-relax nyo muna. And then, both feet should be flat on the floor. So pag nag-measure po ng BP, ideally ganyan po yung ating posture. And right before, place the bottom of the cuff above the bend of the elbow. So yung bend po ng elbow, yung opposite niya is ito. So above it. And then, ito po mahalaga din. Wrap it against your bare skin. Ulitin ko po, bare skin. Huwag po over clothing. Sanay na sanay po kasi tayo mag-BP na may manggas sa ilalim. Pwede po kasi hindi maging as accurate yung magiging readings po natin. So wrap it on bare skin. And then, use a properly calibrated, validated device. Usual question ng pasyente, Doc, anong mas okay? Manual or digital? Yan. So, ang sagot po, actually, mas prone to device error. Siyempre, yung manual. Pero, meron siyang catch. It should be done by a competent and trained person. So, like a nurse, like a doctor. Kasi nakikinig po kami, ang tawag po dun ay Korotkoff sounds. May pinapakinggan kami sa stethoscope, nakikita niya, may suot kami. And pwede, kung alam mo na, hindi naman tayo trained, baka kala nila natin may sound, yung pala, iba pala yon. So pwedeng maging erroneous ang reading. So ang recommendation po, and also sa guidelines, pag sa bahay, we use the digital. So okay po ang digital, hindi siya, as long as may battery, well-calibrated, ibig sabihin, na-check po madalas. Yan. And then, take at least 2 readings. Mas maganda po ito. At least 1 minute apart, isa sa umaga, isa sa gabi. Okay, so tapos na tayo sa number 1. 8 po ito, so bibilisan ko po para magkasya ako sa oras. Next, normal naman na ang blood pressure ko. Pwede ko na ihinto ang pag-inom ng gamot ko anytime. Fact? Sino magtataas ng fact? Or fiction? Yan. So, very good students. Fiction, syempre. So, ang medicines po, especially sa blood pressure, just controls the condition. Hindi po niya kinocure. Ibig sabihin, si Dr. Grace, di ba, isa po siyang pulmonology. So pag meron pong pulmonya, iinom ng antibiotic, usually 7 days. Pag nainom, usually tapos na. Babay na, di ba? 14 pieces lang sinusulat ni Doc pag twice a day. 21 pieces pag 3 times a day. Pero pag gamot po sa BP, usually lifetime. Ha? Pakinggan niyo po yung sinabi ko, usually. Kasi meron po namang exception. So stopping suddenly can be dangerous. Ulitin po natin yon. And normal readings, ang ibig sabihin lang po na normal na yung nakukuha natin sa BP. Siyempre, saya-saya natin. Normal na, pwede ko na ihinto. Mali. It just means the treatment is working. Yan. So some patients, ito po yung binabanggit ko, may need to reduce, pwedeng bawasan ng dose, or even stop the medicine. Kasi minsan sasabihin ng pasyente, Dok, ba't yung kapitbahay ko, tinigil niya na yung gamot, pumayag yung doktor. So yun po yung important thing. It should be done with a doctor, and number 2, under close monitoring. Baka may reason po ang doktor bakit hininto. Baka 80-50 na lang pala yung BP niya, masyado nang mababa at nahihilo. Pakisabi nga po to sa katabi, don't stop on your own. Ayan, malinaw. Walang magsa-stop on your own. Okay, statement number 3. Makakasira lang ng kidneys at atay ko ang pag-inom ng maintenance sa BP at sa puso. Kaya, hindi na ako iinom. O, di ba? Madalas din niya marinig. Fact? Sino nagsasabing fact? Fiction. Siyempre, fiction. Bakit siya fiction? Alam niyo po ba na ang hypertension, lalo na po yung uncontrolled, yung napabayaang hypertension, ay maraming complications. So, hindi lang po siya sa heart, kasi yun ang madalas na alam natin. It also has effects on the brain. Pwede pong makakos ng stroke, yung pagbabara ng ugat sa brain, or pagputok. Yun yung mas madalas. Pag sobrang taas po ng BP natin, hindi na kaya i-contain ng mga ugat natin yung pressure ng dugo sa loob. So, pwede siyang pumutok. Yun yung literal na may bleeding sa brain. It can also affect our eyes, no? Yung tinatawag na mga pwedeng mag-blurring of vision, pwedeng magkaroon ng mga hemorrhages sa eyes. It can also affect our blood vessels, yung ating kidneys. Di ba? Madalas nating marinig, magka-partner yan. Sakit sa puso, sakit sa kidney. So we have to take care of our BP and our heart to take care of our kidneys. So ano po yung mga facts? Most BP medications are designed to protect your organs. So hindi naman po natin sinasabi na all medicines are safe. We agree na meron pong mga medications, actually almost all have side effects. And most of them are minor ones, especially kung yun yung ibibigay sa inyo ng doktor. Ang pinaka nakakatakot po is uncontrolled BP. It's far more dangerous to the kidneys and the liver. So kung tatanungin po tayo, Dok, may side effect yung gamot ko sa BP. Pero kung ikukumpara natin siya dun sa potential na pwedeng mangyari sa atin, pag hindi natin inom yung gamot sa BP tsaka sa heart, mas catastrophic po ang pwedeng mangyari. Yan. And ito rin po yung isa sa mga reason why we advocate na you see us regularly. So ako po, sa mga pasyente ko, I advise them to see me quarterly. So every 4 months. Pero pag busy po or medyo nagtitipid, we understand that at least twice a year. So biannually. Kasi the side effects are monitored by the doctor. Kaya po tayo nagre-request ng creatinine to check your kidneys, SGPT for the liver, and so on. Okay, statement 4. Ito naririnig ko rin to. Kahit maniwala kayo o hindi. Sasabihin, iinom na lang ako ng pineapple juice or ngunguya ng bawang pag mataas ang BP ko imbis na uminom ng maintenance. Fact ba? Wala. Fiction. Oh. Sino yung ganito rin mag-isip dati? Nilalaklak na talaga yung Del Monte pag mataas ang BP. Feeling ko dahil yun sa si Piolo ba yun? Basta nagkaroon ng isang commercial in-endorse na kasi yung pineapple juice. So maraming na-confuse. Fiction po So, garlic po and pineapple may offer some help actually. Kasi yung garlic po, alam niyo po ba, isa siya sa halamang gamot and it's a recognized halamang gamot ng DOH. Kasi meron siyang substance, it's called allicin. Pwede niyo po yun i-research. Yung allicin po helps relax yung ating mga ugat, yung blood vessels. Kaya, it can potentially improve BP. Pero hindi siya gamot. It helps. Kaya kung kakain kayo, yung mga mahilig sa bawang, damihan nyo, ibuhos nyo lahat ng bawang para hindi kayo lapitan ng aswang. Ayan. Tapos, pineapple juice. Pareho lang po ng sila na nire-relax yung mga ugat. So, may help naman. Hindi naman completely baseless. Pero, hindi ipagpapalit sa maintenance. Pwedeng isabay. Okay. Delaying proper treatment increases risk. Kasi the more na hindi natin uumpisahan, puro lang tayo natural, which is okay ha, hindi ko sinasabing itigil. Pero the tried and tested medicines that are given to you by your doctors have undergone many trials, many experiments, and they are the reliable medicines pa rin for BP and the heart. So ito, hindi ko na rin memorize sa inyo. Ito lang po yung mga gamot na usually binibigay sa inyo. Tingnan nyo kung ma-recognize nyo. Yung mga ACE inhibitors, ito po yung may pril. Yan, pril sa dulo. Perindopril, enalapril, yan, captopril. Yung ARBs, ito yung mas sikat kasi binibigay nito sa barangay. Mga sartan ang dulo. Telmisartan, ano pa? Losartan, Candesartan, at lahat ng sartan. Ano pa? Beta blockers. Ito yung mga olol, di ba? Mga lol. Metoprolol, carvedilol, nebivolol. Yan. Lol. Puro lol. Ayan, basahin nyo na lang kasi wala nang time. Yan, malapit na. Statement 5. Ang high blood pressure ay problema lang ng matatanda. Ha? Fact or fiction? Yan. So, yung mga bata dito, humanda kayo. Yan. Hindi kayo exempted. So, alam nyo po ba, this was a paper done in 2020, no? So, they just noted na yung hypertension among the young, meaning mga 20 to 40 years old, can affect 1 in 8 adults. So, madami din yun, ha? 1 every 8 adults. And the number is likely to increase with lifestyle and behavior. Bakit po dumadami yung mga young people with hypertension? So most of them, yan, high salt processed diet. Mahilig tayo sa processed food na sobrang aaalat. Second, obesity, physical inactivity, lalo na po after COVID, di ba? Marami sa kanila mas gusto na lang mag-Netflix, mag-games, di ba? Sitting on their chairs or sa bahay lang. So, hindi na gumagalaw. Poor sleep. So, kanina pa po, binanggit na rin ni Dr. Annie and Dr. Grace, no? We need to sleep. So, at least na talaga, 6. Pero yun nga, the best is 7 to 9. Pero at least 6 to 8 hours, pwede na. Chronic stress, smoking, vaping. So, nabanggit na rin ni Dr. Grace. And family history or genetics. Kasi minsan magtataka tayo, Dok, hindi naman ako, okay naman ang weight ko, hindi naman ako makain ng maalat, sinusunod ko naman lahat, bakit meron pa rin akong BP at a young age? So sometimes, family history and genetics plays a role. So wala ka namang kagagawan. May minana ka lang talaga sa ninuno mo, kaya mataas ang BP. Okay, so after sa heart, so we will touch also on some common myths sa mga diseases, not just sa BP but also sa heart. So sasabihin ng pasyente, Doc, hindi naman kumikirot ang dibdib ko. Ibig sabihin, wala akong sakit sa puso. Sa tingin niyo po, fact yun o fiction? Sorry. Fiction. Because heart disease does not always present with chest pain. Yan. Meron po kayong narinig na before na angina equivalent. Ang ibig sabihin lang po nito, ang angina po kasi, yun po yung kirot sa dibdib. Yung sasabihin, mabigat ang dibdib ko. Bakit po kumikirot ang dibdib kapag kagaling sa puso? Kasi nako-compromise yung blood flow papunta sa heart and yung oxygen na natatanggap ng heart is nako-compromise din. Kasi yung oxygen ay dinadala ng ating dugo. So meron po tinatawag na equivalent. Ibig sabihin, instead na chest pain, especially for women, for diabetics, and for elderly, ito po yung nararamdaman nila. So take note also of this, especially for our sisters, yung mga kababaihan. Shortness of breath. Minsan hindi chest pain eh. Parang mabilis hingalin, yun ang common na sasabihin. Also, fatigue on exertion. Dok, dati nakakaakyat ako dire-diretso mula dito hanggang ministry floor. Pero ngayon hanggang sanctuary, hingal na ako. So significant yon kasi one floor lang na lang yung kaya natin. Sudden sweating, nausea or dizziness. Yan. So particularly, take note po pag diabetic, pag babae at elderly. Yan. Second to the last. Ang sakit sa puso ay sakit lang ng kalalakihan. Fact, fiction. Fiction. No? Kasi iba, tingin nila, lalo pag babae, no, hindi prone sa sakit sa puso. Yan. Alam niyo po ba that cardiovascular disease is still the number 1 cause of death ng mga babae? Number 1. So kahit na hindi masyadong napapansin or hindi masyadong napapag-usapan, heart disease is still the leading cause of death for women. And ito po yung mga figures, pero since we're pressed for time, ito na lang po yung gusto kong i-highlight, yung mga under sa kaliwa. Kasi this is a fact, and siguro isa to sa mga advocacy ko, no, for us women, na paglaban natin yung ating health. Kasi pag sa babae, it's understudied, it's under-recognized, underdiagnosed, and undertreated. Ano po yung dahilan? Yan. Women are often diagnosed later kasi we are less likely to seek early care. Sa totoo lang. Totoo ba? Sino uunahin? Si mister. Uunahin si anak. Uunahin mga lahat inuna na. And kapag talagang huling-huli na, tsaka magpapa-check up si nanay. Totoo, di ba? Oo. So dapat hindi ho ganun. Kasi, pero alam niyo, worldwide, ganun talaga. Less likely to seek early care ang babae. So let's change that, lalo na po na aware tayo. Ayan. And then last na po ito, since wala na rin po akong time, stress is just an emotion. Totoo ba yan? Hindi ito makaka-apekto sa puso. Fact or fiction? Fiction. Kasi stress is not just an emotion. It can affect our heart. Yung heart rate natin bibilis. Yung blood pressure din natin tataas because of stress. Nakakasira rin po siya ng ugat sa puso and sa buong katawan, and it increases blood clotting. And then lastly, ito po ay 7 stress hacks na pwede nating gamitin to alleviate stress. First, enjoy. So, kung may mga hobbies po tayo, labas po tayo with friends. Number 2, energize. Get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Nabanggit na po ito kanina. Exercise. So, nabanggit na rin po ni Doktora kanina, no? Let's exercise. Yun nga, at least 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity exercise. Eat. Maintain a healthy diet. Engage. So, parang yung ginagawa po natin dito, nag-i-engage with our brothers and sisters. Explore. And express, talk, laugh, and cry. May dadagdag pa po akong 2. First is deep breathing. So, lalo na sa mga pasyente ko, baka na-advise ko na kayo, yung deep breathing exercises, slow, deep breaths actually relax the heart. Bumabagal ang heart rate, bumabagal ang BP. Kasi napapansin nyo, pag natetense tayo, laging medyo mabilis ang hinga. So, hanapin po nyo yun kahit sa YouTube na lang kasi wala na rin pong oras. 4-7-8 relaxation breathing. It works. 4 seconds of inhale. Ang bagal nun. 7 seconds, hold your breath. And then 8 seconds, exhale. Yun. And then finally, so syempre, hindi lang po siya 7 or 8 hacks. Ang pinaka-importante po sa lahat is to pray. Yun po ang pinaka number 1 stress buster. And I'd like to quote for my last statement, no? Philippians 4, verses 6 to 7, isa sa mga favorite verses natin. Do not worry or be anxious about anything, but by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, submit everything, all your concerns to the Lord. And He will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So, yan po. Thank you very much.